Hello friends and welcome. Today's video is going to be a fun one of me kind of going back and testing some old favorites that I used to use all the time, mostly like back in college, and seeing, how do I still feel about them? Are they still some of my favorites, or are they just kind of meh compared to the stuff that I've tried as of late? I do already have my brows on because I used to use like the NYX micro brow pencil, and I feel like that's just the same as every other brow pencil, so I didn't pick it up, but whatever. Before we get started, if you are new here, hi, my name is Jackie and welcome to my channel. If you do enjoy this video, definitely hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up button down below if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you'd like to see next. Now let's just go ahead and dive right into the makeup. So for primer, I'm going to be using the NYX Angel Veil Skin Perfecting Primer. I used to love this. It was like the only primer that I used back in the day because everyone would rave about it. And I feel like that's when I first started to get into priming. Before that, it was like priming wasn't really a thing. Curious to see if the OG is still strong. It feels honestly, it feels a little greasy on the skin compared to what I remember. Yeah, it's kind of reminding me of the texture of that Milani one I recently tried out. Not sure how I feel about it. It does feel a little bit greasy. Definitely perfected the skin. I can't say I can see my pores anymore. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation and Concealer. I feel like this was such a big foundation back in the day. When it first came out, it was like the original super full coverage foundation from the drugstore. I'm using the shade Light Natural. I'm curious to see if it still is great or if I feel like it's too cakey, because there are so many like lightweight full coverage foundations out now. And you know I'm using my Real Technique sponge because that was the sponge back in the day for those of us that did not have a beauty blender. Definitely is some great coverage. The only place it's not really covering, I feel like, is my chin and a little bit of the redness on my cheeks. So far, I think I still like it. I'm not noticing it be any like cakiness or cling to any dryness just yet. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. For concealer and contour, I used to use all the time these Loreal True Match Super Blendable Crayon Concealers. And for my under eyes, I would use the shade N123 Fair Light. And for contouring, I use the shade N678 Medium Deep. Not really sure why I gravitated towards these. I just saw them one day at like Walmart or something and was like, those look interesting, let's try them. And then it's just what I always bought. That and the Maybelline Age Rewind was a big one too that I used to use all the time. But this one definitely used more often. Definitely not the most full coverage concealer. So can't say this is something that I would use on the regular now because, my dark circles are about 100 times worse than they were when I was in college. So I'm just gonna, add a little extra something under these under eyes. Now we go in with the lovely contouring. I used to use this all the time. Like, this was the only way that I knew how to contour for the longest time. I definitely think that these are super blendable. So if you're new to like cream contouring, or you want to try cream contouring, but don't want to spend the money on like a high-end product, I definitely suggest checking these guys out because they do blend out super easy, and they're not like overly full coverage of concealers, so they're easy to like sheer out if you're a little nervous about applying too much. That looks pretty darn good. So for powder, of course I use the OG Coty Airspun because it was like the raved about powder in drugstore. So when you're balling on a budget, you go for the drugstore. Oh yeah. If that doesn't smell like dance competition to me, I don't know what does. Now I used to brighten my under eyes with the MAC Shaping Powder and Emphasize. But when I went on their website to try to order it, I couldn't find it. Do they not make it anymore? Because if they don't make it anymore, I'll be really sad. I remember really loving that powder. I was so intrigued to try it again. Alright, so I don't have a blush to try out today because I didn't want to only order one thing from the MAC website, and I used to always use the single MAC blushes in the shade like Peaches or Melba. Those are like my two go-tos. But I didn't want to order just like one thing from the MAC website, so it's not like a full face. But I'm going to go ahead and apply some blush real quick, and we'll be back with highlight. We are back to apply some highlight. Of course, I used to use the iconic Mary Loumanizer by the Balm. I saw this at like a Walgreens when I was in New York and was like, oh, everybody talks about that. I need it. Grabbed it, and it was like the only highlighter I used forever. Look how gorgeous. I'm so excited about this. So I haven't had it in my collection in a while, and I'm confident that it's still going to be amazing. Oh, yeah. Still gorgeous. Still gorgeous. Still gorgeous. There's a reason we all love you so much, Mary Lou. I want to like drench myself in this highlight. I don't want to stop. Need to be careful. I don't want to overdo it. Let's move on to the eyes. You know, before eye primers and all that jazz were big, which honestly I don't even use that much these days. You know, we were all using the NYX Jumbo pencil in the shade Milk. This was like the go-to as an eye base. I remember I saw a girl use it in a YouTube tutorial, and I just went out and bought it right away. I was like, oh my god, that's such a smart idea. I have to do that. And of course, for eyeshadow, the so infamous Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This was the palette, the go-to palette, and if you saw my 21 questions video, I feel like I discovered it before everyone else, to be honest. Because I was using it already, and then all of a sudden I was like big on YouTube, so, you know, credit to me. Just kidding. But I'm just going to go ahead and do something with this real quick, kind of point and whatnot. But, you know, it's not really a full tutorial. We're just playing and testing, so don't want to take up too much of your time. honestly, as expected, I still love this palette. I don't know why I ever got rid of it and why I ever stopped using it, because it's beautiful. Everything blends out so wonderful. Everything's so buttery and creamy, and I love it so much. So for eyeliner, I'm going to be using the NYX Two Timer Eyeliner. It has the felt tip on one side and a pencil on the other. I remember I picked this up because I really wanted to try the Tarte one, but you know, NYX is a lot cheaper than Tarte. And I honestly think this one is just as good as the Tarte one, because at this point I've tried both and I like both. I mean, I haven't used this one in a long time, which is why we're testing it out today, but yep, so far so good. I am pro felt tip. You know your girl was not doing a wing back in the day, because I still struggle with wings now. Yeah, that still looks really nice. Nice, dark, matte black. Love it. For mascara, we're going to be using the Loreal Volumious Lash Paradise. I remember when this first came out, people were going nuts over it as like a dupe for the Better Than Sex by Too Faced mascara. And of course, you know, I had to pick it up. I will say this formula feels a little drier than I remember. I know people still like love and rave about this mascara today, so I'm assuming it's still just as good as when I used it in the past. Yeah, I think that still looks really good. I mean, if you know me, you know I have no natural lashes, so. But I think this looks pretty darn good. Last but not least, for lips, I always use the NYX Lip Lingeries. This one specifically, I believe, where's the shade on here? It's in the shade Cashmere Silk. I always used to use this shade. I haven't used them in so long, though. They definitely glide on super smooth. They feel very moussey. I like the way it looks, that's for sure. And if I remember correctly, this does not dry down like completely matte. It's more of like a velvety matte, if I remember right. Alright, well, let's wrap things up. I honestly am surprised because I think pretty much everything was a hit. The only thing that I probably won't use on a regular basis is the lighter L'Oreal concealer stick, because it's just not full coverage enough for what I need nowadays, but I probably will use it on lighter days, you know, when I'm not feeling like I need super full coverage, which I can't say that's very often. Everything else I feel like turned out so nice. I'm so happy. I mean, props to myself for knowing good products back in the day, let's be honest. I'm just kidding, sort of. That completes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit that subscribe button before you leave down below, and that post notification bell so you're notified every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when I upload a new video. Definitely hit that thumbs up as well so I know you enjoyed these types of videos, and let me know in the comments down below what you might like to see next. Definitely check me out on Instagram as well at JSanchez Beauty. But thank you again for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!